Hello, and welcome to Bourbon Bartender. My name is Ari, and I'm a software engineer, and tonight we're going to talk about the new Riff Winter Whiskey. Actually, we're going to do a review of it. So, I really like the new Riff Winter Whiskey. I had it, I didn't know it existed until a few years ago. I was able to get a bottle at this place called Vine and Table, which is gone now. What a wonderful place. So many different bourbons, obviously wines as well, and great proprietors, Dave Helt, Joseph Davey, just wonderful people, and they introduced me to this. They only had one on the shelf, and now I think it's a distillery-only release. Not 100% sure about that, but it seems to be the case now. Anyway, it's very good. New Riff actually has a background in brewing, so before they became bourbon distillers and started what is it, the Party Source, which is the liquor store next door. But because they started New Riff Bourbon, they could not own the liquor store as well. That's illegal because you can't be a distributor and a distiller. But it's right next door, same parking lot. It's kind of funny. And if you have not visited New Riff, it's a great tour, great people, and I just love New Riff. They used to only be available in the like Indiana, Ohio, Michigan kind of area. So I was surprised to find out how many people didn't know New Riff existed. It showed up at Costco. It was, I think it was a Sam's Club. My first experience with it was with their small batch, but everything they do is bottled and bond, except for their single barrel picks, which makes sense. But everything they do, bottled and bond. Even what we're trying tonight, the Winter Whiskey, which I don't know if they had one last year. I'd have to check. I'm not 100% sure it's a yearly release. Otherwise, I probably would have tried to get it. I would collect this just like people collect Goose Island. So anyway, you can hear in the background my cat scratching the heck out of something. I don't know what she's scratching up. Hope it doesn't fall on her. You'll hear it if it happens. Edit. Anyway, so the Winter Whiskey, like I said, bottled and bond, which means single distiller, single distilling season, aged at least 4 years in a government bonded facility, at least 100 proof. So there you go. Note that it's at least 4 years. You could have a bonded bourbon, bonded anything really, but bonded bourbon that's 7 years old. It doesn't have to be 4 years exactly. Anyway, let's see. So, if you can see I don't know how well you can see the label. I love their bottles. Their bottles are so cool. New Riff on an old tradition. So, let's see. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Go figure. Made with malted oat and chocolate malt. Now, I have found chocolate malt to be divisive, a little bit of a religious war. There's people who like chocolate malt in bourbon, and then there's people who hate it. But I'm not sure I've met anyone who's just okay with it. It's not as bad as Willet Pot Still as a like it or hate it thing. But I remember when Woodford did a chocolate malted rye, which I really liked because I love mocha notes, mocha. And if you just go read the reviews, it's pretty tough. Some people really like it, some people hate it, and it doesn't seem to be anything really in between. But maybe times have changed and the reviews have gotten a little less harsh. So anyway, on a side note, I will point out, if you haven't done so already, go look up. This has nothing to do with bourbon, but it's hilarious. Go look up Haribo sugar-free gummy bears reviews Amazon, and read the Amazon reviews of those. Just make sure you don't have anything in your mouth when you do it, because you might spit it out. It's hilarious. Anyway, so we'll of course do the tasting and lick. I'll put all my notes in there. So Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey made with malted oat and chocolate malt. The mash bill, thank you for putting it on the back. Thank you, New Riff. 65% corn, 20% malted oats, 7% pale ale malt, 5% steel cut raw oats, and 3% chocolate malt, aged at least 4 years. This is not a single barrel, so this is a blend. I don't know what the oldest is, and on the back it says, when we considered putting oats in a bourbon, our minds went to the chocolate oatmeal stout we enjoyed in our brewing careers. I do like me a good chocolate oatmeal stout. The result is Winter Whiskey, a bourbon with the unique spice of raw and malted oats, backed by roasted cocoa notes of chocolate malt. And that just speaks to my heart. So I already know that I liked the 2020 release, so now we'll see how much I like the 2024. Tonight I'm going to use a Glencairn, of course. This has been sitting out like 20 minutes. This is my Old 55 glass. If you haven't tried Old 55, you should definitely try them. Another great Indiana distillery. New Riff is over in, is that Lexington, Kentucky? I think they're Lexington, Kentucky. So it's like a 2-hour drive from me, 2.5 hours. Old 55 is about 90 minutes away. Starlight is a couple hours, 90 minutes maybe. Yeah, we've got some great distilleries here. We've got French Lick, Primary Spirits of French Lick, which is in French Lick. Yeah, just lots of good distillers in Indiana. It's kind of crazy. I didn't know. I just like driving around. You see, just distillery signs. Obviously in Louisville you see it, but until I really got into bourbon, I didn't really notice. And yes, for my friends who hate vodka, they all sell vodka. Okay. All right. We'll see after walking today and all the. Well, it's like 50 degrees in Indy, so let's nose it. Oh, they're. Yeah, those chocolate notes are there. Chocolate orange with citrus. Yeah, so I'm going to go with chocolate, mocha. Yeah, chocolate. It really is chocolate. Not chocolate syrup. I love Lick because it's bringing up, well, what chocolate? Baker's chocolate, milk chocolate, white chocolate, dark chocolate, chocolate syrup. What do you want? I'm going to actually go with milk chocolate this time. That's not a usual note for me. But that was pretty close. And I'm going to go with mocha because, and orange. And I love chocolate-covered orange. I'm going to go with orange peel. Oh, gosh, I love that. That citrus. Really, I'm not sure if I get the oak or probably the oat, but I don't think I've nosed enough oak, so it's possible I miss it. So if any of my friends here have other oat inspired whiskeys, like 4 grains that have oat in them, I would love to try that and nose it and just train my nose on it. Oh, that chocolate. Yeah. Really not oaky. There's one more note in there. It's just chocolate. Maybe a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of that baking spice. But I'm gonna put it in. maybe that's cinnamon. No, I take that back. Maybe honey. Honey toast. Something like that. Or honey nougat. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to think. Gosh, I love this nose though. It's so sweet, but not like, you know, candy sweet. Just like I could just be eating s'mores right now and drinking this, and I would be happy as a lamb. There's the oat. Coats the top. Doesn't fully wrap around, but I'll try a second sip. Well, that milk chocolate comes right through. Yeah, absolutely. Milk chocolate. A little bit of campfire. Like that kind of like mesquite. A little bit of mesquite. Like a sweet smokiness, but it's barely there. But it's there. A little nuttiness, and that cinnamon note is there. Cinnamon, a little nuttiness, and a little oak. Not a lot. I mean, the oak is not prevalent, but it's there, so I got to bring it up. Yeah. Okay. So the finish. Yeah, that malt is there. But it's not like like chocolate malt balls so much. It's not like I'm drinking a Whopper, but that malt is there. Chocolate malt is there. But it's really mostly milk chocolate. I'm going to leave chocolate malt out because it's really milk chocolate. I'd say the finish is medium. Nah, maybe short. Oak, malt, and that milk chocolate note. It's short to medium. Oak, that milk chocolate is still there, and that malt, chocolate malt, or just malt in general, and some of that oat. Notes are there, but it's not like a grain for it. It's not like I'm eating Quaker cereal or Quaker's Oats. So just for the halibut, if you don't do this, you know, that's up to you. You know, I mean, unlike some of my friends who are professional reviewers, you know, that, you know, they can't add water or anything, you know, during a full review. I mean, I guess if I ever end up being in the press or anything, then maybe I would leave it out, but I still think I would. You know, you should always try adding like some water, just a couple drops of like distilled water. See what that brings out. Oh yeah, it brings a lot more of that malt out, a bit more of that grain, and then the oak. Yeah, so yeah, adding the drop of water makes those flavors more pronounced. If you're trying something for the first time, certainly, it's your preference. I generally would recommend against putting on ice. That's going to shock the whiskey. It's also going to dilute it quickly, and it's I don't care if it's a sphere or rocks or a cube. If you're tasting it for the first time, I would recommend against it. There's a reason really good beer is not served cold. So the same goes for whiskey. Whiskey stones, I don't know if they make a difference. I've tried. I don't care that it's cold anymore. So I thought it was cool in the beginning because whiskey stones were cool. But like I never saw a benefit out of them. I got a lot more benefit out of adding just a drop or two of water. This is actually Kentucky limestone. Ooh, gotta let my kitty cat out. Here, girl, you can go up. So I was in a bar in Hong Kong called Bar Butler, and they actually are the reason that I have like all these tchotchkes on my bar, because their entire bar was covered in just gachapon. So if you've ever been to Japan, you got all those little knickknacks, the little balls that come with the little figurines. I have those all over my bar. You can't really see it here, but I've got them. This one I got in Hong Kong. This is a Pokemon one. It's kind of cool. And then I have others like mini phones. I've got an old turntable. One guy I met in Japan actually gave me a cool Godzilla. And then if you're into Sakamoto days, I got some cool Sakamoto days stuff. I got this all over my bar. But when I went to Bar Butler, great guys. Somewhere over here I have the, there it is. Yeah, Butler. See? I don't know if you can see that very well, but they gave me a plain deck. Originally, they could see I was American, and I'm not sure they wanted me in there. But then when I went in and I was asking, I was nosing things. It was actually before Lick really existed, but when Bourbon Bartender existed, I asked for water, and they brought me different water droppers from different areas of the world. So they had water from Japan, water from Kentucky, water from Scotland, I think. I'm trying to remember all the different. It was 2 or 3 different droppers they gave me. I've got photos somewhere. I'll see if I can edit those in and show you. You can see my big nose just nosing it with my friend Rich Lai. And so they're like, originally they were like, you can only stay here an hour. But we ended up staying for many hours, and they ended up letting us try one of the guys was an apprentice bartender. I don't know if you've never been to Japan or Hong Kong, some of these bars, wow, the bartenders are so incredible. And this guy was an apprentice, and he brought out a bottle of his master's own whiskey pick. So what an honor to enjoy that with him. So I ended up going to the Bar Butler in Tokyo because he said, hey, go over there and see if you can say hello. And so I did actually. A month and a half, 2 months ago, I went in there and said hello. But yeah, I want to go back to the one in Hong Kong. It was so cool. Wow, that was very neat. Anyway, if you ever want more stories about that, or my tours around the world, just going to different bars, I'm happy to do an episode on that. Just let me know in the comments. Great. So I'm gonna give this an 87. The finish, don't get me wrong, it was good. It's just it was short, But not every whiskey has to have a long finish. Come on, you can enjoy it. It doesn't have to hit on on nose, palate, and finish 100%. That's BS. That palate was good. I'm gonna give that a 4, and that nose I'm gonna give a 5. I just love that nose. That nose was a lot of fun. Even though it wasn't layered, maybe I'm just in a good mood. But I love smelling milk chocolate and mocha and orange peel and being able to bring that in and not have any of the ethanol and alcohol, etc. kind of notes that go with it, and oak. It was very pleasant. So there's the review. I should do a side-by-side. Actually, the bummer is I don't think I could do a side-by-side comparison because I actually finished the 2020 bottle a couple months ago. So, bummer about that. Otherwise, and that I think that was before. I'm not sure I did a liquor review of it. Shame on me. But anyway, I hope you enjoy it. You can buy this for about $55 over at the distillery. If you haven't had a bottle, definitely go get it. I would compare it to, some Maker's Picks have they don't have the mocha staves anymore. Have a high mocha taste to it, but you just don't get that chocolate malt. But some places do a chocolate malt, and I just think it's really good. I've seen ryes with chocolate malt; those are really good. Chocolate malted rye, like the Woodford. Wow. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review. Like and subscribe, of course, and see you next time.